The Elemental Shaman has gone through some changes in the past, and oh boy, has this revamp brought back this glorious elemental spec. In its current form, it's a huge blast playing elemental right now, and you even have some cool different playstyles to choose from. Trying to learn the optimal rotation has always been a bit of a weird one. Figuring out when to use Ascendance and when just to blast with Stormkeeper took me a while to wrap my head around. There's a lot going on with Primordial Wave, Maelstrom generation, and keeping track of things like Lightning Rod applications. But once it clicks, it feels amazing. What I also really like about this class is the fact that you don't ramp as much. Of course, you want to time your cooldowns, but you're doing high damage numbers with not as much effort as the Mage or Warlock. Like I said, the tank pulls the pack, you press just a few of your buttons, and before you know it, you'll be blasting and bursting high numbers. Performance-wise, they are solid as a rock. The last few seasons, they've been shockingly good and often represented in the S tier on many different tier lists. Next to their crazy burst AoE damage, they bring plenty of utility to the team. Things like heroism and a variety of totems, fitting for almost every situation. And you have Wind Shear. This is your kick on a 12-second cooldown. Cool fact, it's actually the only range spec with such a short cooldown on a kick. They are often called the Swiss Army knife of classes, because of all the different types of utility they bring. And when speaking about performance, I find it important to let one know if this good performance can be achieved by just the pro players, or if it's also within reach for the less blessed people like you and me. In the case of Elemental Shaman, the ceiling is high, but the floor isn't unforgiving. You can pull solid numbers with a clean, simplified core rotation. I started playing this brand new revamped rotation with Achille and was doing good numbers. And as you get more comfortable with things like Primordial Wave timings, Lightning Rod management and Stormkeeper windows, your damage will naturally climb, and it won't take long before you can turn off that add-on. It's one of those specs that rewards practice without punishing you too hard for the occasional missed casts. To ascend or not to ascend? That was my big question. One of the biggest things that tripped me up early was figuring out when to press Ascendance. Should I use it now? Should I wait for the perfect pull? Will I accidentally blow it on a pack of 3 mobs and regret my entire existence? Turns out, it's not as scary as it seems. When using Ascendance, your opener turns into a proper fireworks show. You kick off things with Stormkeeper while the tank is doing their thing. Throw out a Primordial Wave, and when the time is right, boom, your hair goes orange. Ascendance. After that, it's all about spending Maelstrom like you're trying to bankrupt the Elemental Bank. Earthquake, Earth Shock, lightning flying everywhere, and those glorious aftershock procs, keeping your Maelstrom bar topped up. And when you're not using Ascendance, well, it's still a good time. You get to lean a little bit more in your Flame Shock spreads and that satisfying pop of Liquid Magma Totem. Same deal with Stormkeeper and Primordial Wave, but now you've got a few more tools dancing around. The gameplay loop stays familiar. It's all about generating Maelstrom and blowing it on Earthquakes and Earth Shocks. Popping your Ancestral Swiftness so you can keep moving while casting, and using your Storm Elemental feels really satisfying. Hello lovely people, great to have you with me. It's always good to know you there and watching my videos. My name is Brink and welcome back to my channel. Before we get into this video, please let me ask you if you would support this channel in a practical sense and part with a bit of gold. Price of a cup of coffee. Sign up and you will join my Gnome Work support group and you gain access to some exclusive videos. Let's get back to the video. Playing the Elemental Shaman is a huge spectacle for the eyes, an unleashed element that can't be tamed. And if that's not enough, you've 2 other glorious specs to choose from. Enhancement as your melee DPS spec, and Restoration if you want to keep your group alive. There was even talk that Shamans were considered to become a tank in Classic. Just imagine that. I mean, just put that in perspective. That's how Blizzard looks at the Shaman. It's so versatile, it could play every role with strength. But in that viewpoint, you can't go wrong with the Shaman. Its diversity in spec choices and different playstyles is exactly why it makes it into my recommendations. Whether you crave the raw elemental fury, the spiritual support of restoration, or the primal ferocity of enhancement, Shaman offers a playstyle for every kind of adventure. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this range class summary, I've got some good news. I've got more coming your way. I'll be covering every range spec before the launch of Season 3, and hopefully, it'll help you decide what to main. Remember, it's not all about good numbers, it's also about good fun. So good luck out there in Season 3, may your crits be huge, and your raid wipes be someone else's fault. Catch you in the next one. Brink's out.